My people, greetings. We're back again. It's been quite a while. Things have been moving around, and I hope you've been having a good summer. I've been having a great summer. You who are watching this video, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, you can feel free to send us an email, and I would love to have a talk with you. So today we're talking about advancing your career, moving from one space to another level, right? And so from moving from one step up the step closer to where you want to go. Some things that I've done in my life, and they've worked. They've proven to be very effective, right? So let's jump in. One, when we talk about making advances in your career, right, and employing strategies that can be effective, these are things that are going to allow you to either get a raise in your current role, get some more money, or lead to a promotion, right? And so that's what we're really talking about. So one of the first things that I would say is a big important item is making your boss job easier. I said it. Making your manager, your supervisor, your boss, making that person's life a little bit more or less painstaking, right? So, for example, there may be some type of some type of analysis case study that they may have to do on a regular basis. Find out what are the pain points for your for the person you report to, for your direct report, and try to take some of that burden off of them. So one of the things that I was doing, one of my previous jobs, I realized that my manager was taking a lot of time, coaching and really trying to help some of our technical analysts get up to speed on how to deal with some technical problems. So what I did was volunteer my services. I started to do that, helping people out if they had questions. I would maybe write some tutorials, sit down with people, do some coaching sessions, and that was something that was effective, which freed him up, right? So make your direct report, make your boss's job a little bit more easier. That is a effective way to advance your career. The next thing I want to identify is producing visual deliverables. Okay, so when I say deliverables, obviously I work in a project management area, so that is a term that's more attuned to technology folks. But I'm talking about your work product. If you are a engineer or someone else operations, if you are producing some type of output, whether it is a write-up, an update, a summary, whether it is a analysis document, whether it's something instructional, do it not necessarily just text heavy with the information that's in the text, but try to make it more pictorial. And so by doing that, you'll bring the person in a little bit more, right? So people are looking, for example, you may be a financial analyst, right? I mean, do you really think that the executives and higher ups really just want to look at a bunch of Excel spreadsheets with rows, columns? That's super, super boring, right? What you can do to be more effective is taking that and transition it into some type of line graph, right? Maybe a plot graph, maybe a scatter graph, well, if that's applicable, or some type of bar graph or something like that, right? You really want to bring an imagery, even if you're just doing, say, for example, even if you are not necessarily doing anything technical, if you are just writing up something because you want to have a understanding of what happened last month to this month, whatever it is that you're doing, try to embed more visuals into what you're doing, right? So for example, if you have a section that highlights some problems in what you're doing, right? Maybe having a symbol or a imagery of what that problem looks like. Something as simple as that can really bring the message home. So the next thing I want to talk about is maintaining a upbeat, positive personality. All right, you want to have a positive attitude. A positive attitude is not walking around the office, cheesing all the time. I mean, that's disingenuous. You know, you have individuals, and I'm sure you see it. They just walk around smiling all the time, like a Cheshire cat. I mean, if you're happy, then it's great, right? But not everyone is happy all the time. And so what happened is when you interact with people who may be pessimistic and those types of things, what you want to do is you want to be cordial with everyone, right? But for the downers, right? For the people who are gonna suck and sap your energy, the gossipers, right? The people, the people who are narcissists, you know, all because in the office space you have all different type of people. You have different cliques and those types of things, right? So what you want to do is you want to have a positive attitude, irrespective of the people who you're dealing with, right? So you want to feed those relationships that are beneficial to you in the office space. But for those energies or those personality types that are sucking from you, you want to be cordial, right? But you may want to keep your distance, right? Because you want to keep a good check on your aura and on your own internal space. Next thing that I say is a huge thing is you want to solve problems. You get paid to solve problems, right? The more you solve a problem, the more your professional value is recognized, right? And so if you are an engineer or a nurse or whatever the case may be, say for example, in a report that you received, it was mentioned that last year there was a spike in, I don't know, flu or whatever the case may be. Or say, for example, it was brought to your attention that individuals on this side of the street are tripping on the sidewalk, right? You as a person working in that space, whether it's medical or whether it's engineering, be very mindful of that, right? And so when you as the engineer build the sidewalk, or you as the nurse are dealing with your patients, right? You want to make sure that that problem is alleviated. All of us have projects that we work on, and they may touch key different areas, but you want to make sure that headaches that were brought up previously do not persist, right? And so one of the great areas of value is being able to solve problems. And so you know, if you are building software, if someone says that, you know, they hate using this old application because, you know, they have to click a lot, you need to be aware of that, right? When you build your application shouldn't be multi excessively multi-layered. You may want to have a first, a secondary, and maybe a tertiary level to your user interface design and those types of things, right? Because you want to solve a particular problem. So when your customers speak, let's listen to that. And as we are working on a solution, as we are incorporating a resolve, let's make sure that that problem is resolved. The next point I want to mention is take on tasks, you know, voluntarily. Take on work voluntarily, right? Nothing makes a manager more attuned to watching you than a person who is taking on responsibility, being proactive, right? Without anyone telling you to do anything, just take on some additional tasks. You know, reach out to whomever you report to, say, you know, hey, I had some extra time and I realized that there was an issue here, and these are some of the things that I did. Take initiative. That's a great way to really set a good tone if you really want to advance your career. I highly recommend that. And one of the last things I want to identify is something that I've done before, and it's very effective. Engage in social events at work. I'm gonna say that again. Engage in social events at work. When I say engage in social events, I mean inside work and outside work. So, for example, if the office is having some type of breakfast party or something like that, go, right? People in management tend to promote and provide rewards to those individuals who they like. And the only way for somebody to like you is if you have interpersonal connection and conversations with those persons, right? So if they're going for drinks after work, it's not something that's mandatory, but I highly recommend it.